Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Morning Glories issue 25, which is the season finale type of ending, which they're naming this for Morning Glories. But before I start talking about Morning Glories, just want to give you guys a little update. I have a lot of reviews on DarkAvengerINC because I have a lot of comics this week that I got. So let's start. Young Avengers issue 3, I got. Aquaman issue 18. I got Fantastic Four issue 5 AU, so that's going to be on DarkAvengerINC. Scarlet Spider issue 15, which is on DarkAvengerINC. And Ultimate Comics Wolverine issue 2, which is on DarkAvengerINC also. So if you want to go check out those reviews, in the description below there'll be a link for DarkAvengerINC, so you go check those out. Let's talk about Morning Glories, which I usually don't do on Comic Uno. I usually do an advanced review on DarkAvengerINC. But I didn't want to read the advanced review. I really want to get this issue in my hand. Morning Glories is my favorite independent comic book and really one of my favorite series. So I want to get this in my hand, get that double-sized issue. And it's only $3.99 for a double size. Usually, like for Marvel and DC, they'll make you pay like $7. So this was a really good price for a double-sized issue. Let's talk about the issue inside. Let's talk about the cover. These people don't make an appearance. They don't. I don't even know who they are. This might be Ike. Some of them you'll notice. Some of them's like, who are they? I don't know who this is. So the cover really doesn't show exactly who they are, but it's still a good cover. I love the arts for this cover, you know, for the covers of Morning Glories. I do love the art they have. So, and even the next cover looks really good. And this is season premiere for season 2, which centers around Casey, which we haven't seen in a really long time. Let's talk about this issue. It's really confusing. I'm going to start out. A lot happens in this issue. We get to see a little bit of Abraham, exactly what are his motives. He does like his kids that he had in summer camp, I'll call in Ike's words. But he's actually protecting his real son, Ike. He's trying to protect him from one of the camp members who's kind of psycho. And we learned that the camp members did a lot throughout this whole entire series. They're the ones who really, like the prison, which we saw really early on in the series, they did that. Like, they did a lot of stuff. Like, they were in the nurse's office. They were there for a lot of it. So if you read back, it's like, oh, that was one of the prison people. So you realize that. And then we get to see Hunter is special. He's actually built one of these things that transfer time travelers, and future Jade's there helping Hunter. And then we get to see the killings of, like, what's her name? I can't think of her name right now. The Asian one who, Jade. Not Jade. I can't think of her name. The original person that died from the Morning Glories. I can't think of her name for some reason. I usually know her name. But anyway, she died. They even referenced her. We get to see, again, Hunter is some, I guess, scientist guy because he created all these things in the future. We get to see that Ike is going crazy after his father tells him, he was like, oh, I was here to protect you, and when you killed me a long time ago, I actually said, oh, I'm still around. I was the one who was there. So then he starts going crazy because of this. Yes, again, it's a really confusing issue. We can see Ike going crazy because Abraham tells him the truth. You see future, I guess, Ike, him gambling over there, is like very confusing. A lot of stuff that comes in, like random panels that come in this, which I'm sure will play a future with this series. And then we see that in the end we get to see Jade's like, oh, Hunter, did it work? Well, Hunter's like tells Jade, did it work? Did the whole time travel, or the students back? Because they're really trying to make the whole camp people from Abraham go back to their time, which I didn't know they time traveled in the first place, but okay. But we get to see Jade's like, oh, we'll see if it works. And Hunter's like, how if it doesn't? Like, aren't I like the person who's supposed to save everybody? He's like, no. Casey's the person, which we all knew she was a leader, but we haven't seen her in like issues, like a lot of issues. I would say like 10 issues we haven't seen her. It's been a while, so now we get to see that she's the sender, which we all knew. She was the original person we saw in the first issue. And she was the leader. And it was so simple back then. Now it's just very confusing. But I'm going to give you guys an example of this series of how it's a good type of confusing. Recently, or not, maybe a couple of weeks ago, I saw Mulholland Drive, which is a pretty good movie. It was nominated for Oscars when it did release. It was from David Lynch. It was directed by and written by. So it's like that type of confusing. It's like somehow you like it though. You like the confusing. It's like you have no idea what just happened, but you still like the issue. And that was the same type of reaction I had when I saw that movie. And then reading this, it's like somehow I really like the issue, but I have no idea what happened. And that's how I felt with this issue. There's a lot of panels. It's like, where did that come from? I'm like, what? And I think it'd be better if it was like in type of TV movie type of form. But I still think it was really good. We got some answers. Abraham does care about his son. Abraham was in the past. I don't get the time traveling thing. I don't at all get the time travel thing. Hunter is important somehow. Is the people who are dead actually dead? Hun's brother died, and this, I'm talking Hun as Horatio, who was actually not Hun, but he was originally Hun. Very confusing. But if you've read the series, you'll know. So we get to see that. Ike go crazy. I don't know. I think he actually died in this issue also. But are people that actually die, are they dead because of what Hunter did? I don't know. Which is very confusing. And what does Casey have to do with all of this? That's what we're going to find out in the next issue. I think it's actually double-sized also. And I really want to see what happens in the next issue. Yeah, I'm very excited to see maybe some answers. But it's a very confusing issue. But it's a good type of confusing, honestly. In the end, it's like, well, what happened? I think if you read maybe past issues and if you read it in trade, which I always say the series is better in trade, I think you'll understand it a little bit more. I'm still not certain about the whole... I'm going to call them the summer camp students, the second group of students. I think that's when the series started getting really confusing and I started falling out from the series. I still love the series and I want these answers, but it started getting a little downhill once they started to get introduced because so much is going on. And I think that's the downfall about this issue is that there's a lot going on and you're going to be really confused. It depends. You might have a good reaction with this confusion or you might not. With me, I had a good reaction with it. And it's like I want more and I want to learn about these random flashes and these random people and what does Morning Glories have to do with it. They even mentioned in this issue Morning Glories is not a boarding school but a monastery, which really makes sense with this whole biblical references that they've been making since... you know, recently they've been making more, but since issue 1 they've been really making biblical references. So it's a monastery for what though? And then they mentioned the gods again over here, which I think is going to have a big part. Is in the end the solution was breathtakingly clear. The old ones had abandoned us, so we created our own gods. So who are these people? And then we get to see that Abraham was trying to protect Casey and the whole group. Why? Why was he trying to hide them from Morning Glories? And then how did they end up in Morning Glories? There's a lot of questions. And what does this have to do with biblical references? And I think that's, in the end, that's what we're going to learn. What they do have to do with all of this and how this all connects. It's just a lot of questions, but a lot of it was answered also in this issue. Sorry for the really lengthy review, but it was a good issue. I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 4. Yeah, I gave it a solid 4. It was a really solid issue and a lot happened. For $3.99, you get a lot of story in here. I like how Image really does price these things really well. But if you haven't read Morning Glories, I recommend reading it in trade. It's a lot easier. I like to pick up issue by issue because I can't wait for the next issue. But it is better to read in trade. So if you haven't started, read in trade. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was a good issue, and I'm excited, really excited for the next issue. And I might be reviewing on my channel. Maybe I'll do an advanced review, whatever you guys want me to do. Tell me in the comments below. But guys, this is Comic Uno. Hope you guys enjoyed. Guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and the rest situations, and I'll see you guys later. Remember, I gave this 4 stars, and I say pick it up. Bye, guys.